come on. Serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand?
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to text.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the—
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay.
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is.
I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler.
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great— This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started—
Oh, Sawada, for the love of— Sorry, we don't get out much, so our socials— Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places.
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came—
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Ina's—
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatara, but in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it and killed his servant Katsuragi. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this—
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatara Suna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned—
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder?
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And—
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government even back then, Tatara Suna was already at the—
Wait, so there are two missing people?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a—
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin—
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe—
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human—
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you—
paimon just meant,
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon...
Oh, and please read my... Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with...
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting...
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info...
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the... Okay, then, even if we did know something about it, we probably could... After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential. If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many as... Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... The Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see. Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the Balladeer. Did he escape or...
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the Sanctuary of Surstun? I know you must have a lot of questions. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do... A deal?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done...
Don't flatter yourself. It was...
So if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong in plus. He's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to Wait a second. Farmer? You mean... I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a losers.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm... Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why...
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we...
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you...
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely... Yes. As I told you once before...
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you.
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twins' details. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't... He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, the amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through... So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more...
Exactly! Or what if...
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really.
Paimon's still worried about this.
I was gonna contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer even though he only has a fraction of his full power left. That's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany, of course I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Then prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prison—
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must— I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until the—
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna— Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring.
If there are no further objections, I suggest, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted.
Is this a small sap? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So, ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels...
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of info. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information?
Permission granted.
Let's go.
Hey, so... say we did go running off in here.
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay...
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge...
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it.
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive...
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay...
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with...
Traveler, Paimon. Yes, I've also invited Paimon to...
Huh? What the... We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus,
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back.
as I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always. So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well,
Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay.
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki...
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gase got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones... Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the top... Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So,
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was...
Wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh?
This light. It looks similar.
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with...
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not...
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well...
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has me under your leadership. Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed. Their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the golden feather to Narukami Island. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure...
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a—
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatar— I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have—
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop.
You...
You're a little smarter than I thought I'd disguise myself exceptionally well. At least for the first few. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace.
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experience. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed—
Look how even the righteous soul is filled. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into— Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead.
If you give him, he has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost— Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into— I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite... Mr. Niwa. Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me, creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore! Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into... You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near...
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but...
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the kabuki mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, after the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have..." The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow...
Holy moly! So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my...
Hey, are you investigating the stuff?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Ermin.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from...
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead...
Huh?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul, it might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her... Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens respond?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanagi?
Yes.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now. Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power, I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, so tell me, in this world... Done.
Huh? What the? What happened?
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me. So long. I suggest you get...
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki, those who died in Tatarasuna because of me, deserve another chance.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than... But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily...
Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared! Oh no!
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened?
It was the Balladeer's fault!
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his ability?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all...
Don't be. It's not your fault. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible. This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this...
An emergency? How bad is it?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be...
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon... So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared. Ooh, Paimon's so confused. Huh? Ah! Sorry, Paimon accidentally... But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And Paimon's had it with that little brat. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's... There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still... So, how about... Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack and Dragon chili chicken! Almond tofu! Satisfying... Also, Adeptus temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what... Is that a food, too? What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon... So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of the art of forging practiced by these 5 clans, was first taught to them personally. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the...
Oh, yeah, we were! We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
That, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, he told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, there is no harm in telling you, but the Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives. Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his powerless and destitute. The only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, in his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, but when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places. On to the next step! We're here!
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato,
Are they out on
the Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the...
We'll be heading in then.
Hello, dears. Of course, travel. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever.
So pretty much...
Very much.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so... I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn.
All right, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
All right, then. Take...
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe trip.
Do I have company?
What kind of person comes to a place like this and just speaks?
Hey, I wasn't spacing out. I was pondering.
Sure you were. Your eyes were glazed over.
Why are you making fun of me? I told you I wasn't spacing out. I was ruminating on some problems. Technological.
Oh, he said Tatarasuna. Looks like we came to the right person.
Oh, is there something you want to know about Tatarasuna? My name's Xavier. Certainly do. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Meg, not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tataras. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you? I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the tech...
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something?
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into...
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burn? Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatara Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you to keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile? No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there. Hey, don't mention it. Let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you...
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we...
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler, remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could...
What did you find out?
It's a long story. Basically,
Wow, so many.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here?
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for...
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do. I'm out of here.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Can't touch me. Nahida, we're here.
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until
The Balladeer? You look troubled. Is the... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer...
But how is...
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Ermin...
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do. The Traveler comes from a world beyond Tevat. That's why there's no information. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivation.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that, and if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Ermin. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Ermin's soul.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friend. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange What
is it?
A record from a personal collection. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the...
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerged... There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other... Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladier's to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive this memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to... Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but...
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the questions, so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, and that is what you have been doing.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat?
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a... Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that, but... What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get... What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all...
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look,
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work, I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just
stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, you don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander.
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should... Huh? You two over there. Is there...
He spotted...
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind. Have we... No, we haven't met. But you know, I have no recollection. Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet?
Huh?
You were right!
I guess you do know me after all. That is... Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down... Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it.
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Then let's return to the city.
Yeah.
Here you go, boss.
Oh, you really went and picked some more.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for—
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
What's wrong? Huh?
Hello. I do apologize.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
You say that you're trekking across Tevat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way.
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather, I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but
Oh, like a past life?
yes, something far more distant than the past.
Okay, I have to ask. Oh, you want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult, but I'll be able to handle it.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a... Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are...
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
If we were enemies, why are you...
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything!
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that...
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the
Please, I want to see them for myself.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish.
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me.
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of...
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we...
Understood.
Thank you. Now.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted. These memories will show you the raw truth. But be aware that...
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
All right.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your...
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, and...
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite There's someone passed out. You're awake. What happened? Not a scratch.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to...
And the rest is history.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabuki, as the second-in-command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's...
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Can't catch me. I'm out of here. what are we doing back here?
Whoa, this is where you were born?
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died. And then he kept coughing all the time, just like me.
But you can't.
Yup, we're family now.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family!
You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going. And away I go!
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I have been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Almost. The doctor was...
Let's end this quickly!
What an annoyance. This first. A bitter pelter.
Rain outlines your...
That's it to work.
Windblade!
What an annoyance.
Witness the power.
This first.
Let's end this quickly!
That seemed to work.
Windblade!
Use this first. That seemed to work. What an annoyance.
No, my sword! The doctor was sealed.
Let's end this quickly!
That seemed to work. Some quiet. Almost. A bitter pill to swallow. Mind the side effect.
Let's not waste time.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Let's end this quickly!
A bitter pill to swallow.
Time to act.
Let's not waste time.
Mind the side of it.
I guess this is it.
Let me weave you rain out.
Remember, help comes first.
Get out of my way!
Windblade! Killjoy! We've only just begun! I know you got it!
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I see this isn't time for a break yet!
Check that teeth.
Break us run!
A bitter pill to swallow. Yeah.
No slacking!
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
This should be fun!
Killjoy! We've only just begun!
Mind the side.
You can't run! Well, Windblade! I miscalculated.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place.
In the original version of events, the Traveler...
Such a creepy atmosphere. Hey, look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start...
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still... Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours... Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with... Forget it. Someone might find me here.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come.
Yes.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results and your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
You can't. Out of my sight. No, my sword. Winter shall eventually come. The more, the merrier. Ninjutsu! Over here! Ow! Over here! Rain cutter! Rain outlines your...
Mind the side effects. Seems like an emergency.
Leaving so soon.
No, my sword! Let me amuse myself a little.
No escape.
Blink! Over here! Ridiculous! Here, that's me!
Windblade! With the wind!
Blink! Look at me. Just... Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a...
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial...
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a... Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart...
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone.
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm...
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes.
In your eyes?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of...
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules. With each person being a collection, as a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotion. Are you sure you want to do that?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you, and I finally realized. I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to...
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is... You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright? No way!
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Insignificant past! Churn!
At my command, You shall fall! Quit following me. How amusing. Behold! Be more human! That's far enough! Unsightly insects! My endless cycle begins! Imbecile!
It disappeared?
What did you expect? I'd never look.
There's the tone of voice again. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too!
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about it, but don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing...
The memory recovery seems to have been a success.
Come on. Let's continue this out.
Welcome back, Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, after learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using it. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui. And they wouldn't take me back anyway.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but
that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see in changing the world, changing the past, what you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world...
Indeed.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's Lesser Lord Kusanali. You purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's...
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sin... Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the... Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best...
I'm glad you're able to think of it, Traveler. In the future, I'll continue to search including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I wanna know. I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how? Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back. And they can everything that you feel is real and lasts. To be human is to live with imperfections.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they?
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without the past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal.
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname.
Why?
Because Paimon...
Then I hope...
A name is life's first gift. You didn't see... The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name...
No! Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name...
Have you got anything? Are you sure? Oh, all right.
There. Now you have a name of your...
What about a nickname? Are you done yet? Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer...
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve...
I see.
Huh? But if we...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. No nonsense. All right, let's goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite... So we can finally go eat? Paimon is...
Thank you both. I hope you will find someone...
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi...
You mean because everyone else in the story...
Yeah! I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in... Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, all these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire, and life is a story too long to be told. A journey that you must walk.
Relax.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow, good! Huh? Look at the vase. Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? Like...
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced, like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by... History does not change easily, but human hearts can.
The voices disappeared, and who the heck was that? And what were they... Anyway, that face is still... Feels wrong just leaving it there. Just...